Hello. Today we're going to talk about the cerebellum, or the little brain. So these larger ridges up here make up the cerebrum, or the cerebral hemispheres, and then the smaller guy down there is the cerebellum. Here is a sagittal view, so we can see what it looks like when it's cut in half. The cerebellum does lots of things for us, but the most important thing is taking in information from sensory receptors and using that information to produce like smooth, coordinated movements. So, information is going to come from the motor cortex, from proprioceptors. Those are sensory receptors in our skin and muscle that like respond to movement and touch, and also from our equilibrium pathways. So, basically, anything that has to do with moving is going to be sending information into the cerebellum. And in return, it's going to provide instructions to the motor cortex that result in smooth, coordinated skeletal muscle movements. And again, like skeletal muscle, those are supposed to be our voluntary ones, but the cerebellum is unconsciously doing this. It's also responsible for our balance and our posture. I'm sure you can think about it and like sit up straighter, but all the muscles that are actually holding you up, like the cerebellum, is coordinating that. Like I don't even know what they are, and it's just happening. Also, I'll point this out that the cerebellum is underneath the occipital lobe. A lot of times when we're doing a practical exam, people will confuse the occipital lobe and the cerebellum. Don't, because their ridges look different. And it has an outer cortical area of gray matter. So this darker stuff out here is the gray matter, and an inner area of branching white matter. That branching white matter, if you turn your head sideways, it's supposed to look like a tree of life. It's called arbor vitae. So recognizable pattern in the cerebellum.